Morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to go without my AV once again. This is 0 for 2. Today, I want to talk to you about the power that's within all of us. The power of our minds. Our minds are so strong that they can heal our bodies. This is exemplified in the placebo effect. They give people what they perceive as medicine when it's actually nothing. The people believe through practice that the medicine is working and it can actually heal their bodies. Conversely, our minds can do the opposite. We can dwell in the negative of things. And we can become unhealthy to the point where we actually can get diseases and die. I had a very interesting conversation with a coworker who lives on the negative side of the line. She said to me, "Frank, I can't afford to be an optimist like you. Life dealt me a bad hand." And after we finished talking, I thought to myself, so many people have this negative opinion of optimists. Like we are people who look at life through rose-colored glasses, or we're delusional. And I gave this some thought. And optimism, by definition, is the ability to dwell or focus on the best possible outcome. From the word optimize, which means to make the best or perfect use of. Optimists, my friends, are people who make the best use of their thoughts. They're actually a lot stronger than you would give them credit for. Because you see an optimist smiling and always upbeat, that doesn't mean they don't have problems or there aren't things going wrong with their life. They just know what to do with that. But what also interested me about what my coworker said is she said, "Life dealt me a bad hand." And that's a term we use, that's a metaphor for playing cards. When you're playing cards and you're dealt a bad hand, it's hard to win. But most people who use that metaphor, they don't even know how to play cards. So I thought about this, and I researched cards. And I found the greatest card player in the world, Stu Unger. Stu Unger, as a young man, was unbeatable. He had a genius IQ, a high capacity for mathematics, and he knew how to read his opponent. But he practiced and practiced his craft. When he was a young man, he wasn't even a professional yet, he played Yankee Stein, the #1 gin player in the world. He beat him 86 consecutive games. Do you honestly think he had the best hand for 86 consecutive games? And if you don't play cards, I'll give you the answer. No. So I examined this hands were dealt in life concept, and I looked at someone who was dealt a very good hand. I read about a man named Jack Whitaker. In 2002, he won the largest lottery to date, $320 million. He went on TV with his granddaughter and his wife, big check. Wow, what a hand. Jack Whitaker was a good man at heart, but he lavished his 17-year-old granddaughter with private jet vacations for her and her friends, 4 expensive automobiles. He gave her a $2,100 a week allowance, 17-year-old. Less than 2 years after he won the lottery, they found his granddaughter wrapped in a tarp, dead under a car, died of a drug overdose. Jack Whitaker's life fell apart. His wife left him, ran out of money. He went on the news later and said, "I wish I would have never won the lottery." He was dealt a good hand and he lost. One of my most inspirational people in my life is a man named Nick Vujicic. I would encourage you to research him. He was born with no limbs. He has no arms and no legs. He has two little appendages here which aren't even complete feet, which allow him to stand upright. Nick Vujicic went through unbelievable depression when he was a young man and a child. Can you imagine the ridicule and the bullying? And he talks about this. And Nick Vujicic almost didn't make it. He became suicidal several times in his life. But fortunately for Nick Vujicic, he was born into a faithful Christian household. And faith, my friends, is positive mental practice. And Nick Vujicic found his strength in Jesus Christ. And that pulled him through. He does about 300 speeches a year. Countries are begging him to come. And he rolls up his wheelchair and he hobbles up on the table to massive audiences. Nick Vujicic was able to make it through because of his positive mental practice. He pulled himself out from the darkness. That's the power we have within. And it doesn't come overnight. It takes practice and practice and practice. My friends, we are all born with this power within us. Like this match. By itself, this match doesn't look like much. And most of us, we squander that power because we live in the negative and stay in the negative. But a few of us, we practice living on the positive side of the line. We practice positive thoughts. And if we do it long enough, we can ignite. And when we ignite those around us. They ignite all those around them. And if you think one person can't have an impact in life, you're definitely mistaken. I can't tell you how to get to the highest levels like Nick Vujicic, but I can tell you this. I can tell you how to start. One thought at a time. You're all here. You're all alive. You all have people in your lives that are already gone. Start with being thankful about, I'm alive. I have love in my life. People care for me. And repeat that. Can't afford to be an optimist, you say? I don't think you can afford to be anything else. Thank you.